All right. Just skip scalping away. Loving life, living large and in charge. Bank of England just cut interest rates as expected. I've taken most of the profit on the scalp. I got another one locked in. The worst I could do is make money. The best I can do is make more money. Kind of like that. I'm going to add this to the post I did earlier. I'll show you one way to do this if you don't have software. You can just save the chart as it is. Hang on, I got Carney blabbering in my ear. Oh, I don't have Forex.Today open anymore. It should be here. Where is it? Oh, all right. So I can go here. So I've already made a post. So here's me scalping it. But since I'm the author, I can also edit it. And so I can attach a second file. Right. Still running. Then I'll say took half the profit off the table and letting the rest run. Thank you, Mark Carney. Boom. So now I can save this. It uploaded the attachment and it's saved. So there's the original scalp. So you can see I'm short 2, still running. And so there's my updated post. Pretty nice, right? That was very difficult, right? So difficult. And I didn't even use fancy screen grabbing software. So I encourage you to share your trading ideas with the community. Without further ado, let's play the happy music. Thank you, Mark Carney. So let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose, eh? My name is Wayne. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. We're an ECN. You're a trader. Let's make beautiful profits together. You pull the trigger using sound technical and fundamental analysis, and we'll execute the trade quickly and affordably. And together we'll make beautiful music together and roll around in a bed full of money. Or something like that. Hey, we do these sessions 7:30 in the morning, New York time. That's approximately London lunch. It's a great time to get together and put our strategies and our heads together. We're here at Forex.Today, Monday through Thursday. And every Friday I'm at FX Street, where I'm also Forex Speaker of the Year. And tomorrow is Friday, so I will be at FX Street, and it is Non-Farm Payrolls Live, number 1000, I think. So look forward to seeing you there. Tomorrow's going to be a very busy day for me as I'm heading out to see my friends in South Africa. With a little stop at the Ritz in Paris. Yeah, life is great, life is grand, life is good, life is beautiful. And I'm going to spend all the money from all these scalps. So here's the scalps, and if you recall, I got to go out to I guess we can do it on a 5-minute chart. If you recall yesterday, remember doing this here yesterday? And I drew all these lines, and I had a line right at the top. And then what happened? Was it ADP? ADP came out, hit the line. I pulled the trigger short. How many people remember that? Yeah? JG Wentworth? Yep. That's neat, right? So we're like way up here. Oops, can't even see it, right? We're way up here yesterday saying, hey man, let's get heavy short. Here's the levels of resistance. And then check this out. If you missed the first one, down, 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 up, up, sell. And if you missed that one, down, 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 up, sell. And if you missed that one, down, 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 up, sell. A little bit of consolidation, breakout, and then just more selling later as it re-accelerates. Because remember, at the end of the day, money comes out of the market, and at the beginning of the day, money comes back into the market. And by money, I mean volume and volatility. So lots of trades. So there's only like 6 or 7 left. But at least they're making money. Okay. So you can see kind of the breakout idea, right? Like broke out here, retraced. Okay. It tried here too. So you can see how you can kind of slowly load the boat, right? Get a couple in here, get a couple in here, and then pray, right? Hope's not a strategy, but praying never hurts. And off we go. So that's just a follow-up from our little trade setup yesterday. Yeah, Marina, just I'm always right. No strategies changed. It's just I'm looking for things that may make it easier for people to get it. Yeah, so interest rates in England are now, what is it, 0.05%? Is that right? Or is it 0.25? All right. Well, that's a little better, I suppose. Oh, wait, I have all the information right here. Yeah. What was I thinking? Oh, their repo rate. Yeah, okay, so the repo rate's all right, and they're so a little more QE out of the Bank of England, and that's probably quite helpful. So it's a few extra pounds, right? The meeting was unanimous, and well, Okay, all of that is interesting, but the real news today is South African electricity consumption is down 3% over the last 2 months. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what, Marina? The rand, I think, versus the dollar is at 11-month high today. Is that right? It's like the worst time for me to be in South Africa. Right? I'm going to have to complain. Yeah. So, anyways, it's all relative, right? So, but it also means if the electricity consumption is down, somebody's not deep down in the earth digging up gold. It's usually an indication of gold production. I know it's a weird thing, right? Yeah. Yeah, forget about the dollar, right? You don't need dollars in South Africa. Actually, South Africa is in this really interesting scenario where they're heavily affected by the dollar because they sell gold and other commodities globally in the global market in U.S. dollars. So, like, the Americans are like drug dealers, and they're forcing the rest of the world to do business in their dollar. And if someone wants to do, sell gold for euros or oil for euros, we roll in there with General Schwarzkopf and put an end to that nonsense. So one interesting thing is when after the value of the rand crash and gold dropped by 50%, South Africa was actually more profitable than they were when the economy was doing ripper awesome and gold was at like $2,000 an ounce. The reason for it is the rand fell farther relative to the US dollar than gold did, and therefore since South Africans get paid in rand, and I mean the guys down there with the picks and the shovels, they're down in the mine, you pay them rand. Whether the rand is worth a lot or hardly anything, doesn't matter. You just keep paying them rand. And it's like practically free, right? Yeah, you want some rand? All right, there's some rand. Take the ZAR and go home, right? But meanwhile, if you own the gold mine and you have all this gold, you sell it in the open market for dollars. And so it was funny, South African gold miners were actually more profitable at $1,200 than they were $2,000 per ounce. And that's because the rand devalued so much, even more than the amount that gold did. It's pretty interesting. Right? It's fascinating to think that you can make more money at $1,200 an ounce than $2,000 an ounce. Well, that's why Forex is interesting. Life is great, life is grand, unless you work in a South African gold mine. Right, yeah. So, what does it all mean with the Bank of England? I guess we should just sum it up. They cut interest rates, fine. That helps the economy. Not really sure how much that would help the economy, but it devalues the pound, and that could have a good, a longer, shorter term positive effect. They increase quantitative easing, which increases money supply, which then further devalues the pound. And I don't know about that. I mean, there's just nothing more to say. So the value of the pound should be down. Somebody said they were buying the pound at like the monthly pivot point, and whoever that was, you should be careful. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe it bounces there and you make some money. It's really a dangerous thing. And if you were working for me, if I was a senior trader and you were working on my trading desk, I'd probably have to yell at you because, the Bank of England just cut interest rates and you're buying pound. I mean, you're going against the entire Bank of England that wants the value of the pound to fall. You're buying it, trying to beat the Bank of England, and you're no George Soros, right? Good to see you, Lawrence. Yeah. Did you take my advice and go back to exotic dancing? I love the dance. I got dance in my blood. Yeah. Good to have you. Yeah. No. There's a thing for everybody, man. You just go in a different genre, Lawrence. That's all. You're unique. You stand out in a crowd. Naked. All right, everybody. All right, so let's go. Yesterday we were talking about, hey, man, dude, really? Wouldn't it be awesome if the S&P 500 went up? Right on. That is great. Veggie sausage. I don't even know what that is. So anyways, yeah, looking at this is what we talked about yesterday. Just like there, and the day before, I think we were talking about prevailing winds, that a lot of this is probably just profit taking, right? And that in particular, when it comes to the stock market, many more people make money when it goes up. So therefore, the prevailing winds or the trade winds for the S&P 500 should be up, right? And that even if it doesn't make a whole lot more sense than just human nature, someone just might buy this because they're supposed to, based on pivot point theory, right? Not fundamental analysis and stuff like that. So you got to wait for technical analysis to say double bottom higher high, right? So, and I think we literally word for word said, what happens if you see something like this? What do you yell? Okay. You yell hammock, you take this high and you bring it across. What? Life is great, life is grand, life is good. So what you're thinking is just stuff like this. What? Be careful of the next level of resistance, but and that's the S&P 500, right? So the British are taking money out of England and they're going to stuff it in the S&P 500. Fine. Yeah, Michael, I try almost anything. I love almost everything. I mean, I literally, when it comes to food, almost everything is awesome. Sort of like people. Life is great. Life is grand. So anyway, so we're back into here. And, you know, well, that's that. And if we were trading Forex, generally I would look to kind of short in here pretty aggressively, right? But with the stock market, what I prefer to do is let it break up and buy that aggressively, right? And then buy the next one aggressively, and then buy the next one aggressively, right? So I'm sort of cautious on the downside, aggressive on the upside. And then, of course, with the stock market, what do you do if you're long here and you head up to your resistance like this? How do you handle this if you had $1 billion laying down? Hey, Paulie. What's up, Paul? Good to see you, my friend. Everybody doing good in the fam? Excellent. Very good. Yeah, Fred says buy put. You know, however you want to do it, whatever mechanism you want. If you have $1 billion and you bought a good trade down in here, you don't want to get out, but you need to do something here, right? So you hedge. So give me a scenario here. Are you a bull on the Japanese yen or a bear on the Japanese yen? Marina's buying Japanese yen. Daniel's son is buying. All right. So let's start then with Kiwi. I'll do bull first and then I'll do bear. Life is great, life is grand, life is good. All right. This isn't a buy zone per se. That's a take profit zone for bears, which could produce a pullback. And if it does, you already want to be long and a break even. Okay? Going out to a daily, what you're seeing is a little bit different of a scenario. And one way I'm kind of drawing this out, you have to give me a little bit of poetic license here. I'm kind of playing it like this, okay? Which means if this is our floor and this is the previous high, and there's some support in here, and I fib this as well, 382, 50%, 618, 786. Somewhere in here, I want to start to get long and tiptoe in. Does that make sense? And okay, so that means I'm a bull on the Kiwi, bear on the yen. I think I misspoke earlier, but so that's for Daniel, right? This is an area of interest, right? An AOI. Okay. If this starts to meander up, it may be worth a shot in the dark if you have this as your floor. All right, that's your primary. This is your secondary. Right? And this is really the tertiary. Yeah, I said tertiary. What are you going to do about it? I put juxtaposition in my paper too, and I know it makes me look like a douchebag. As long as you know. Man, I got to write like a dirty dog today. Okay, so anyways, there's that technical analysis. Now, the other side of the coin here, and this goes to those who are bullish Japanese yen. Life is great, life is grand, life is good. Then you got to drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Right here. Mm, 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 mm. Right? Am I right? Well, this is CAD yen. So we're only doing technical analysis here. You've already done your fundamentals. So this is for those that said they want to buy Japanese yen. That looks good to me. If I were me and I was thinking like you, I would probably find that irresistible. Oops. Okay. Do 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 do. So I'm expecting something like, let's plan this out, you and I. What do you think? Is that plausible? If the answer is yes, then you go into an if-then statement. If it makes a lower high, if it makes a lower low, how will I behave? For example, if it makes a lower low, you need to have your finger on the trigger. You already know what you're going to do. Fire for effect, right? Extreme prejudice. At that point, you know what you're going to do, and you're going to hit it hard. Okay? And that's because this, in your mind, is simply a 4-hour 21. Would you assume you're going to sell there? Looking at a 4-hour 21? Yeah, I mean, that's why we have it on the chart. Right? Ciao. Ciao. Okay? What do you stink? Smell like a plan? Okay. Just to add to this, though, if you were a bull on the yen pairs, if those bears fail, it should be meaningful to you, right? So the bears, what they should be doing is taking it down to at least here, because that's the target zone, and maybe they go lower. If not, and if you think 40 bucks a barrel, and we've talked about this 2 or 3 times this week already, if you think $40 a barrel is at least the short-term low or maybe the long-term low for oil, then you want to do something like this. Okay? You just might be early in the game But if it was going to flip, it would have to flip somewhere in that circle. Okay? So somewhere in the next, let's say 3 days, you might see the birth of a new trend. Yeah, Dan, the way that I designed my charts has to do with fractal geometry, and you'll see an amazing relationship between these moving averages across multiple time frames if you take a close look. And the closer you look, you're going to say, oh, this is actually a little bit genius. Now, it spent me years to get there, but I haven't touched it in decades. So. Another good day. So we got Challenger. That came out. Where is it? Challenger, 45,000 jobs cut. That's bad, man. So Alex has already long cut CAD yen. Then you got to do it on this time frame. Okay. Find your levels of support. I mean, ideally, you know, if it does this, right? That's another great long. You know, here's another buy zone, right? So this is one of those situations, if you are long or you're thinking about getting long, you hold it. Okay? Because if you're right, this right here looks like a little double bottom on this 15-minute chart. It's a double bottom on a daily chart. Okay, and you know, a highly correlated commodity is also kind of in an interesting area. Okay. Funny thing is, this gray zone here, we had drawn a couple of days ago. So now we're there, okay? And technical analysis would say triple bottom, higher high. What do you yell? Hammock is the secret word. Something like that. What do you think? Is that possible? Just simply because we hit 40? Work our way up? Well, if it is, that would strengthen the value of the Canadian dollar. You're going to have to break that 4-hour 21 on the CAD yen, however. WTI. So I saved that. So again, just to show you how this works, pictures, I have a little folder here. So here's where's the oil? WTI. Here it is, right? Just drag it. That's it. Oil bouncing at $40. Possible reversal. Moving back into the 40 to 50 range. Could be supportive to CAD. Check out the bottom forming on the CAD yen. CAD oil trading idea. Forex trading idea. That's really complicated. It took me a long time, right? Oops. See? Be great if you guys could share your ideas and your thoughts. Doesn't take very long if you're already doing your job. Right? If you're already doing your job, you might as well put it down. See, there's one reason for it is these are really notes to yourself. Now, hopefully people give you feedback and you share feedback with other people. But for example, if this was you and you'd click on your name, all your trading ideas are going to go in here. And now you have yourself a trade journal. Right? Now you got yourself a trade journal. So here's USD CAD the other way. If oil goes up, USD CAD comes down, perhaps. The correlation's less clear at the moment. Stupid euro. Yeah, I'm going to have to make a decision on that. All right, gold. Gold going up. And you might as well just say this is the South African rand. don't think we have ZR. Do we have ZR? ZAR? Do, 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 do. No. Can always ask. Let me just mark this while I'm here. Okay, I'm leaving myself mementos for the future. Wait. Yeah, euros are, it's not loading. So maybe it was offered at one time and is no longer available. Yeah, it looks like it was pulled, huh? Well, thank goodness we have lira. You know what? Actually, let's take a look at Singapore dollar versus the pound after the Carney news. It's pretty dramatic, huh? It's a lot of movement. Yeah, I used to trade a lot of ZAR, actually. Well, I shouldn't exaggerate. No, not a lot, but I used to trade it. Um, back in the carry trade days, you'd get so much pound yen and so much euro yen, that kind of stuff, where you didn't have any room for more, so you start scrounging around for other things to do. And all of a sudden, you got yourself some Turkish lira yen and some South African rand yen long positions because you're bloated on everything else. And then, don't get me started with Iceland. All of a sudden, you're like, Iceland. And it was a really strange time. The 10-year note, I don't think I have treasuries on this platform. Again, that was something I used to trade a lot, and then I find out how much I was screwed over in taxes, so I don't trade it anymore. So I follow the yield curve, but not necessarily trading the technical patterns on the commodities. Let's see if I have it on Southern one, but I can't really show it to you, unfortunately. I think I only have boons. Yeah, I don't have it. Yeah, I have boons, but I don't have it. Yeah, sorry. No 10-year T notes. Sorry, Stefan. It's an amazing thing, though, to see the stock market rally and the bond market rally. It's quite an odd thing. So Kiwi we did. Should we look at Aussie maybe? Shed a tear 'cause I'm trading you. Still alright to smile. All right. If you're a bull, you're probably eyeballing it this way, although that's the actual low, but that was the spike. That's the spike low, right? So let's call this the, the fair low. And then there's the high in there. So if you get a break, you're thinking about coming back to this area. Well, it's come down a little farther, but it's into the green zone. And because we didn't make a higher high here, I wouldn't expect a higher high in the trade planning. But nonetheless, if you can get it and you're a bull, this is the area in which you buy and hold. And be prepared to break out at break even. Right? And that's how I'd play it, like that. Stefan says usually the bond market is right. Well, the bond market is a lot bigger than the stock market, that's for sure. And the nice thing about the bond market is it's logical. Right? Someone gives you a bond and says, all right, we'll sell you this bond. Face value is $10,000. The yield is 5%, and you can pay us $9,999.22. And you say, well, let's see if that's a good deal. So then you do time value of money, where you discount future value of money. And you go through the discounting model, you crunch out some numbers, and you say, well, that bond is 22 cents overvalued, so no thank you. And you're done. Yeah, Carney's up here. You can probably see him. That's what I like about the bond market. It's math. That's all. It's just math. Therefore, Stefan says, bond market's usually right. Well, yeah, it's because the math is usually right. And then, then you have to calculate and possibly discount or add a premium to bonds when interest rates are expected to rise and fall in the future. So then you say, well, our expectations in this model suggest that the Fed will raise interest rates in December. So based on that, a bond in December that pays more than a bond today should be worth more than a bond today, because the bond today will pay less to someone that could buy the bond in the future. So then you throw that into your model and you spit out a new price. But the stock market is just like, I don't know, buy, hold, and pray, right? So again, one of my professors tried to teach that the value of the stock is the discounted right? Time value discounted cash flows of all dividends, of dividend payments. And I'm just like, you're stupid. There's no way that that's true. There's just no way. Do you seriously teach this? Who taught you that? My God. Really? Is this 1952? Amazing. Now, a 20-year-old would probably believe that crap. It's like, oh, my illustrious professor taught me that, so it must be true. Can I have your autograph, sir? Gee whiz. So, same sort of thing. If you're a bull, I don't know if you're a bull on these pairs, but if you were, this is an area of interest. Shed a tear 'cause I'm missing you. But you got to be careful though, right? Because you're buying pound against the wishes of the Bank of England. But wouldn't it be neat if we can catch it like post NFP, you know? So I think before I take the big leap of faith and take the risk, I'd like a slightly better entry. Weekly S1's all right. Weekly S2's better. I stink. And then try for something like that. Girl, I think about you every day now. Okay, do some bucks here. There was a time when I wasn't sure. You set my mind at ease. Somebody said Aussie. Was there a request out there? Was it Aussie dollar? Okay, yeah, no. Russ threw down an Aussie dollar request. There is no doubt you're in my no. A little busy here. You're gonna. I got crappy trades on here. I can't show you that. We'll do that some other day. Yeah. Turn your head away in disgust. You're like, oh, I didn't just see that. Gee whiz, yeah, yeah. Don't do as I do, do as I say, right? So, all right. So let's. Everything's going to be affected by this sucker, right? So what do you want to do with this? Yeah, that's right. I'm down on my knees. Gonna take you there in the midnight hour. All right. I can feel your power. So I did buy this at 99. I put it in the activity feed on Brexit. So I bought this twice. I bought it at 99. I swear to you, I was like right here. And I posted the image. I was long right there. And then I think I was long at they're not 101. I think it was 100. So I was long again here. It was awesome. What made me buy at 99? because I'm a jerk. At Brexit, you have to realize how crazy Brexit was if you weren't there. I was there and I traded the whole dang thing, just minute by minute for hours. It was pretty crazy day. Loved it. I can't zoom out that enough. So anyways, so I would do things like buy it here, and I'm not joking. 3 minutes later, I would have 200 pips profit. 2 minutes later. So, I ended up taking a lot of profit, right? And the funny thing is, 2 minutes later, I'd be up 200 pips. 2 minutes after that, I'd be down here again. So then I'd buy again. Boom. And then boom, another 200 pips and out. And and after a while, you just get sick of doing it, right? Like, you don't want to be up 300 or 400 pips, and and then an hour later you're out at break even. So I had to choose that day. Do I hold the ultimate long on 99, which would be a lot of bragging rights? Hang on. A lot of bragging rights, but 269 on the jobless claims. So I could trade for glory, so that the next day I could come back and say, look at me, I'm so smart, I'm up 600 pips. Or I could just take the money, and so I took the money. What was the position size? That's actually a good question. Early in the day, I started at my full size. My full kit and caboodle. Every time I traded, I was, and then it got to the point where I made a couple of bad trades and lost money, and then I made a couple of good trades and made the money back, and then made a couple of more and was making money, and then a couple of more made more money. And then, but I'm sweating bullets. It's one of those situations where, and I've been in these situations many, many, many times before, where, you pull the trigger and 2 minutes later you've made 200 pips, right? So I had made more than enough money. I had accomplished the goals for the month. And instead of putting myself in a situation where I end the month at 0, instead of, +6 or +7 or +8%, I made because I'd already reached my goals. Remember, because I did my business planning retreat with myself, 10 years ago, I know for a fact, or at least I believe for a fact, right? I believe in my heart that as long as I reach my shorter term goals, my longer term dreams will come true. Right? So I say, hey man, Brexit was cool, it was fun. It's not even midnight yet, right? Brexit hadn't even come out yet. And so I said to myself, I'm going to drop my lot size. So I ended up dropping my lot size by like 75%. And so, yeah, I was still, I'd lose 50 pips and then I'd make 200, and then I'd lose 50 pips and make 100, and then lose 50 pips and make, 150. That kind of stuff all night, but I cut my lot size by 75%. And then by 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm just like, that's it, I'm done, I'm going to bed. I woke up the next morning, right? 4 hours later, I wake up, price is exactly where I left it. And I was thinking, man, if you were English and you waited till 8 o'clock in the morning, or if you were American and you were waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning your time expecting to see what happened to Brexit, you missed the whole dang thing. I traded like a madman from 8 o'clock at night to 2 o'clock in the morning. And by the time England was waking up, it was already done. It was over. I think a lot of people actually missed it. I'm just like, oh, stop. That would have been horrible. Yeah. That's you guys. Yeah, well, you probably survived. One other thing about amateur traders, when they miss things like that, they say to themselves, "Oh man, I could have made so much money." The reality is, you probably would have blown up your trading account. See, the best trades an amateur make are the ones that they didn't actually make, and they're like, "Man, oh man, if I had been trading then, I would have been patient and disciplined. I would have had trade plans, and I would have managed my risk properly, and I would have moved my stops at the right time, and I would have pulled the trigger just right. Everything would have come together perfectly, and I would have made a huge pile of money. Even though day after day after day, I can't do any of those things when the market's moving in a normal fashion without, additional risk or emotion, right?" So to give you an example, I did do something like I bought at it was like a cluster of a weekly reversal pivot and a monthly pivot. And I bought it, and like, no joke, 30 seconds later I lost 50 pips, or maybe even 100 pips. I'm like, oh my God. So then it fell, and then I get to like a monthly S2 or something. I'm like, oh, it just has to go up here. I throw down a trade, and it goes, right? And then and I lost like another 100 pips. And so I lost like 200 pips in a matter of 8 minutes. Right? Dope! So I said right then and there, no more of that stuff. Just like literally to myself, no more of that. That's the buy the bounce kind of idea. And I'm like, nope. All I'm going to do is sell. All I'm going to do is sell retracements. I'm going to drop into a 1 minute. I'm doing price action. And it was that kind of stuff. So it would come up to 786. It'd start to turn red. Boom, gone. I my trade there, and I just so like literally another 8 minutes goes by, and I made the 200 pips back. And it was weird like that because you didn't even know, right? You'd have to really look close at the candles. You're like, was that 200 pips? Wow. And you couldn't even believe it because nothing happened. Nothing really happened. It barely moved, and it was 200 pips. Holy! I remember I was waiting on a 1 minute chart, guys. I was waiting for a pullback, and it's starting to pull back, and I just squeezed out like a 150 pip trade, and I'm like, oh, I got to get out here. So I get out, and then, oh, sure enough, green, green, green. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to short again. I just need a pullback, so I draw my fib. Okay, I need a 382. I need some green candles. And I'm watching it in green candles, and they're 1 minute charts, right? So green candle, green candle, green candle, green, but not dramatic or anything. Just they look like nothing pullbacks. And then I remember leaning forward, and I'm like, oh my God, that's hundreds and hundreds of pips. And I'm like, I just squeezed out 150 or 200 pips. If I would have held it, I could be losing that many by now. And it's just like, it's been 6 minutes. I went and got a cup of coffee, came back. Yeah, it's pulled back. I wonder if I should short again. And then I realized it was 400 or 500 pips while I went to get a cup of coffee. And to me, it was just a pullback. It was a remarkable day. So again, what did I actually do? I cut my lot size dramatically after I'd already achieved my goals. Not for the day or for anything, but I was having an okay month. Turned out I hit my top end of the goal. Anything beyond that is just, I don't need it. And all it is me adding risk at a time when I should probably not be adding risk. So I just simply cut my lot size by 75% and kept trading, knowing that I'm not going to screw it up enough to lose money, kind of thing. So I traded it because it was fun. I traded it because I'm a trader. Right? So Russ says, are we feeling bullish about USD yen going into NFP? Well, I don't think that way. I don't know what non-farm payrolls is going to be like. So I have to run my model. I'm not going to have time today, actually, though, because I got my papers due. But you know the model. I've taught it, right? You take your your challenger report, which is minus 45, and you take the weekly jobless claims trend, which actually is slightly up as of late. Right? You take a look at the subcomponents to ISM services, in particular the employment subcomponent of ISM non-manufacturing, and you take let's say a 6-month trend or a 12-month trend in non-farm payrolls, which we've had that one big one that was super low a couple of months ago. So that's got to pull down that average. And you throw it out there, and it's going to be a below average NFP. Is that going to be bad for USD or USD yen? Well, I don't know. I think 99 and 100 is going to be a big deal. Okay. I don't think we're on our way to 95. Okay. But I also think we could have a really bad non-farm payrolls. What is one major reason NFP suddenly is producing bad numbers? Yeah, Russ, you're probably right on that one. So it's going to come down to Abe and Kuroda, right? So one major reason NFPs are looking bad recently is the United States is near full employment. So there's no one else to hire. It's not seasonal because all that gets adjusted, John. But the issue is, if you quit your job and then get hired at another job, nothing's really changed, right? So there's only really one thing that can happen, and that's people that haven't been looking for a job. They haven't been counted in the workforce. They decide to show up and say, hey, now I'm looking for a job. I haven't worked in 10 years, but suddenly I want to have a job again. Well, then they're unemployed. As soon as they start looking for work, they're unemployed again, right? So I think it's that kind of thing now where everyone that has wanted a job has a job. Unless they've been horribly underskilled, and then they might have been at school for a couple of years, and now they are skilled, and they come back to the workforce, and now they're unemployed. Where before they were not unemployed. They just didn't have a job. And those are two different things. So, all right, guys. Well, I'll see you tomorrow for non-farm payrolls. Is everybody signed up? And a couple of things, guys. I would like you to post a trading idea. You've seen how easy it is. I did too just in the last few minutes. Also, can you add a profile picture? Because you can see there's a lot of people logged in. All this white space is people logged in. But like Chris, right? There are people logged in with no profile picture. The way that you do that is you click on your name in the top right corner, go to profile settings, and right here, and it'll probably say something like add photo or upload photo, and it's super easy. Right? You just grab a photo, pop it in there. So would you do that? It just looks nicer, especially if you leave a comment or something. Right, Marina? No, thank you, Russ. Thank you for your loyalty. It's a real honor and pleasure working with you guys every day. Life would be pretty boring if it wasn't for you. You make me want to be a better trader. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. And I had to buy myself a little sweater so when I'm in South Africa on Monday, I won't be too cold. How nice. So what's the weather like? About what? 18 degrees Celsius? 15 degrees Celsius? Is that about right? I wouldn't even know what to bring. Cold in the morning and evening, but nice during the day. That's what I thought. See, I come from Saskatchewan, where in the winter it gets down to minus 40 Celsius, negative 40 Celsius. And that's not unusual. I mean, it happens several times a year, and it could be even colder at times. So when you're like, it's cold in Johannesburg, it's only plus 15. Plus 15? That's not winter. That's a California summer. You know how cold my place would get when I lived in California? In July? We'd sit in the backyard and I'd have to have a fire pit because all my guests at my party were freezing cold. So that's California weather. Yeah, yeah, so I don't even know what, to bring people from America, like, I don't know. Seems like Johannesburg should have everything that you need. That's why you live there. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, Marina. And I'll put on a three-piece suit for us on Monday. So anyways, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Later, Gator. See you tomorrow at fxstreet.com.